Welcome to Eat, Sleep, Dream English. My name is Tom, and today I'm going to show you the difference between England, Britain and the United Kingdom, because this can be super confusing. I can't wait to get going, guys. Let's do this. Okay, let's start really small. We're going to start with London. London is the capital city of England. It's also the capital city of the United Kingdom. Don't get it confused with England, with Britain, with the United Kingdom. It's just a city. 7 million people, that's all it is. Okay, now we know what London is. Let's look at England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. Let's start with the four main countries. We have England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. Now they all have their own separate parliaments, their own separate cultures and identity, accents and their own capitals. So London is the capital of England, Edinburgh is the capital of Scotland, Cardiff is the capital of Wales, and Belfast is the capital of Northern Ireland. Each country has its own flag, it has its own national anthem. And it has its own patron saint. And we have a special day each year to celebrate that patron saint. So in England, the 23rd of April is St. George's Day. Wales has St. David's Day, which is on the 1st of March. Northern Ireland has St. Patrick's Day, which is the 17th of March. And Scotland has St. Andrew, which is the 30th of November. So those are the four main countries: England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. So let's move on to Great Britain. Great Britain is not a political institution, it's actually a geographical term. And it includes the three main countries on the main island. We've got England, Scotland and Wales. And together they make Great Britain, or Britain if you prefer. Now you may have noticed that in the Olympics we had Team GB, that was Team Great Britain. The full term though would be Great Britain and Northern Ireland, to include Northern Ireland within that group. But as I say, it's not a sovereign state as such. It's a geographical term that we use. Now it can be quite confusing because some people use Britain when they actually mean the UK, and we're going to get onto the UK in a moment. For example, we have Brexit, Britain exit. Well, it's not just Britain that's trying to exit the EU, it's actually the United Kingdom. So let's move on to what the United Kingdom is. Because the United Kingdom is England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland, and this is the political entity. This is a sovereign state. Just in the same way that the USA is a sovereign state, or China, or France, or Australia, so the UK is as well. Now the full term for the United Kingdom is the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and it's been like this in this form since 1922. Now, whenever I have to fill out a form, they'll often ask me what country am I from. The option will be the United Kingdom. It won't be Great Britain. Equally, when I lived abroad and I was sending post back home, I would put the name, the address, England, and then at the end I would put the United Kingdom, because ultimately that is the sovereign state. So let's quickly review. We had four countries: England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. The geographical term for England, Scotland and Wales is Great Britain, and then the political term for all four countries is the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, shortened down to the UK. But hold on, that's not it, we've got more. So we also have another term, the British Isles, the British Isles. Now this again is a geographical term, and this describes these islands in the west of Europe. So we include the United Kingdom, the Republic of Ireland, which is a separate sovereign state, and also Guernsey, Jersey. I think there are about 6,000 islands in and around the UK and the Republic of Ireland. And these are the British Isles. Now it's important to stress here that the Republic of Ireland is a separate sovereign state. Just like France is a separate sovereign state, or the United States is a separate state, the Republic of Ireland is also completely separate from the United Kingdom. All right, let's move on to the Commonwealth of Nations. Now this is a political association of 53 countries, most of which were part of the British Empire. So you have countries like India, Pakistan, Australia, New Zealand are all part of the Commonwealth of Nations. Now within the Commonwealth of Nations, you have Commonwealth realms. Now these are 16 sovereign states that have the Queen as the head of state. So again, you have countries like Australia, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, Jamaica, Barbados, the Bahamas, etc. Now, all these countries are completely autonomous. They have independence, they have their own parliamentary systems, but as I say, they share the head of state, which is the Queen. Then we also have British overseas territories. Now, these are 14 non-independent states that have the Queen as the head of state, and they also have a British military presence. Countries include Bermuda, the Cayman Islands, Gibraltar, the Falkland Islands, etc. And finally, we have crown dependencies. Now, these are 3 self-governing entities that belong to the United Kingdom. They are Jersey, Guernsey, and the Isle of Man. Now, when we think of identity and the United Kingdom, it gets very complicated. Different people have different ways to identify. So, for example, one person might say they're from the United Kingdom. Someone else might say they're from Scotland or from Wales. Someone else might identify with their city as being the most important thing to them. So the United Kingdom and identity is a very complicated issue, especially these days with Brexit, with a Scottish referendum on independence, things like that. It can be confusing. I hope this has cleared up any confusion you have about the different terms that we use. Now remember guys, I've got a guidebook to British English and British culture coming out really soon. When it's out, I will put the link in the description below. But thank you for watching guys. Until next time, this is Tom, the Chief Dreamer, saying goodbye.